Come, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
The first Midsummer Classic took place on July 6, 1933 as part of the World's Fair at Comiskey Park in Chicago. The game included stars like Babe Ruth, Carl Hubbell, Bill Terry, and Lou Gehrig. It was intended to be a one-time event, but was so popular that it became a yearly event that continues today. Almost every big-name MLB star since 1933 has played in multiple All-Star games. Mickey Mantle, for example, was a 20-time All-Star. However, there have been a handful of amazing players who played their entire careers after 1933, some who even got Hall of Fame consideration, that were never selected to play in an All-Star game. Today I'll talk about the 10 best players to never have the honor of being an All-Star. But before I begin the list, let me start with some quick honorable mentions. Knuckleball pitcher Tom Candiotti, one of the premier pitchers of the mid-90s, who threw 17 complete games in 1986. Pitcher John Tudor, who had an outstanding career highlighted by 10 shutouts, a 1.93 ERA, and 21 wins in 1985. First baseman Wes Parker, a phenomenal player who won 6 straight Gold Gloves and hit .319 with 111 RBI while leading the league in doubles in 1970. Danny Darwin, an excellent pitcher with superb control who pitched in the 80s and 90s. He led the league with a 2.21 ERA in 1990. Infielder John Valentin, a 5-tool talent who hit .298 with over 100 RBI and 28 bombs in 1995. He also hit .306 while leading the league in doubles in 1997. Now for the top 10. Starting out at number 10, pitcher John Denny, a Cy Young Award winner who had multiple stellar seasons and pitched for 13 years. Denny was always a slow starter who would get better as the season went along. Therefore, his stats were always more impressive at the end of the season than they were at the All-Star break. Nevertheless, Denny had 2 insanely good seasons. One in 1976 when he had the best ERA in the league at 2.52, and then he did even better in 1983, going 19-6 with a 2.37 ERA, helping the Phillies win the National League title. He retired with a 123-108 record and 2,148 innings pitched, with 0 All-Star selections to his name. Number 9, outfielder Gary MADDOX. It is an absolute crime that former Giants and Phillies outfielder Gary MADDOX never made an All-Star team. He was drafted by the Giants in the second round of the '68 draft, and then after just a year in the minors, he left baseball temporarily to serve in Vietnam, where he sustained injuries to his face due to chemical exposure. The reason that he wore his trademark beard throughout his career. He continued right where he left off in 1971, tearing it up in the minors, earning a call-up in '72, and beginning a 15-year career of defensive dominance, earning him the nickname the Secretary of Defense. He won an astonishing 8 consecutive Gold Gloves, a stretch in which he also hit .296 at the plate and stole on average 26 bases per season. He received MVP votes in 3 separate seasons, finishing 5th in 1976, a season in which he hit .330 with 29 stolen bases and won a Gold Glove award, and still didn't make the All-Star team. He retired with a bigger WAR than fellow 8-time Gold Glover Bill Mazeroski, except Mazeroski made 10 All-Star teams and was elected to the Hall of Fame. Number 8, DH Travis HAFNER. HAFNER was one of the premier power hitters in the American League from 2004 to 2007, a 4-year stretch in which he never failed to drive in less than 100 runs in a season. He hit 42 bombs in 2006 to go along with an OPS over 1,000 and a league-leading .659 OPS. He was also an on-base machine, walking at least 100 times in both 2006 and 2007. He retired after 12 years with a career .376 on-base percentage and 213 home runs. One of the reasons he never made an All-Star team is that half of the All-Star games were played in a National League park, meaning the American League did not need the DH. However, he was certainly snubbed from at least one All-Star game in 2005, which was in Detroit. Number 7, third baseman Eric Chavez. Chavez was a first-round pick who lived up to the hype by smashing over 25 home runs per year for 6 straight seasons for the A's while picking up a Silver Slugger. He was also an elite defender, winning 6 Gold Gloves in a career that spanned 17 years, 4 of which he earned MVP consideration. He also knew the strike zone and led the league in walks in 2004. He retired with a .342 on-base percentage. Unfortunately, he played the same position as superstars like Cal Ripken Jr. and Alex Rodriguez. In 2020, he received 2 Hall of Fame votes. Number 6, outfielder, first baseman, and DH, Matt Stairs. He has a World Series ring, over 250 career home runs, and a 19-year big league career, but somehow Matt Stairs was never selected to an All-Star team despite a season in 1999 with the Oakland A's in which Stairs had over 100 RBI and 38 home runs, garnering votes for MVP. He had a 3-year span from 97 to 99 in which he hit .281, averaging 30 bombs a year and 93 RBI per season, maxing out at 106 driven in 1998. From 1997 to 2007, a 10-year span, he averaged 23 home runs per season. He also holds a major league record with the most pinch hit home runs in MLB history with 23. He is a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, yet somehow Matt Stairs was never an All-Star. Number 5, infielder Tony Phillips. Would you believe that a player with over 2,000 hits and a career on-base percentage better than Hank Aaron, Buster Posey, and George Brett never made an All-Star team? Tony Phillips had an 18-year career in which he won a World Series ring with the A's in '89, received MVP votes in '93 after hitting .313 with a ridiculous .443 on-base percentage. Phillips retired with a career WAR of 50.9, higher than Orlando Cepeda and Ralph Kiner. He was an on-base machine who would have been highly valued in today's analytical era and considered one of the better players in the game. But Phillips played in the 80s and 90s and made 0 All-Star teams. Number 4, Eric Karros. A big name from the 90s and 2000s, Eric Karros hit at least 30 home runs and 100 RBI 5 times and averaged 25 bombs and 89 RBI per year during his impressive 14-year career. He won a Rookie of the Year award in 1992, hitting .304 with 20 bombs. He was also a Silver Slugger Award winner in '95 when he crushed 32 home runs with 105 driven in. But he was left off the All-Star Game roster in favor of Fred McGriff and Mark Grace. In later seasons, it was Mark McGwire and Jeff Bagwell who were selected before Karros. He retired with 284 home runs, over 1,000 RBI, and 0 All-Star selections. He did, however, receive 2 Hall of Fame votes in 2010. Number 3, outfielder KIRK GIBSON. This is a player who I would have ranked even higher than number 3, but there is a specific reason why he never played in an All-Star game. In fact, when I found out while preparing this video that KIRK GIBSON, one of the most famous names in baseball lore, a bona fide superstar with multiple historic and unforgettable moments, not to mention an MVP, never made an All-Star team, I nearly fell off my chair. As it turns out, he was invited twice, once in 1985 and again in '88, which is why I'm going to put him at number 3 instead of number 1. He declined both times, preferring to stay home. Gibson was an all-around great player who could not only hit for power, but also steal bases and get on base. Given his name and prowess, it is surprising he was only invited twice. He received 2.5% of the vote on the 2001 Hall of Fame ballot. Number 2, pitcher Rick Porcello. It is an absolute shock that one of the finest pitchers of recent memory, Rick Porcello, never made an All-Star team. He didn't even make it during his masterful 2016 season, in which he went 22-4, winning the Cy Young Award. Was this because of a rough first half? Well, he went 11-1 in both the first and second half, showing amazing consistency. During the 2010s, only 6 pitchers won more games than Porcello, and they were all considered elite. Kershaw, Scherzer, Verlander, Greinke, Lester, and Price. Those 6 made multiple All-Star teams, 36 in total, while Porcello was completely shut out. Number 1, Tim Salmon. Incredibly, one of the biggest names of the 90s and 2000s. The man who made fish last names in Anaheim cool before Mike Trout never appeared in the Midsummer Classic. In fact, before Trout, it was Salmon who led the Angels in career home runs. He hit at least 35 times and consistently hit over 290, maxing out at 330 in 1995, a season in which he also smashed 34 home runs with 105 RBI. He was a Rookie of the Year and finished in the top 15 for MVP 3 times. Salmon won a Silver Slugger during an amazing career that helped him receive 5 Hall of Fame votes on the 2012 ballot. This was an absolute stud during his time, and it's completely shocking that he never made an All-Star team, especially as an outfielder where there are more possible positions open to be able to squeeze onto an All-Star roster. But for Salmon, it never happened. So there you have it, 10 amazing players who somehow never made an All-Star game. There are probably dozens more. Feel free to put them in the comment section down below. There are also certain players that are still playing today who I'm holding out hope for, so that's why they are not on this list. Examples are Andrelton Simmons and David Peralta, among many others. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hit that subscribe and like button if you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you next time.